Hey everybody, Koumintang here with another episode of Cooking with Koumy. Today we are making a broccoli rice casserole. This is probably going to be my last cooking video before my surgery. I'm not sure how soon I'll get another one out, unless I can find some kind of an assistant to help me out, because I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot of big time cooking with a splint on my finger. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this, and we're going to go through the ingredients. You are going to need 6 cups of broccoli. When I go by 6 cups of broccoli, it's just basically the tops with the little stems. That's it. You need 6 cups of broccoli. You will need 2 cups of white rice, 3 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cup of onion, 3 tablespoons of flour, 2 cups of milk. You will need a 1/4 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1/4 tablespoon of black pepper, a 1/2 tablespoon of dry mustard powder, a 1/2 tablespoon of paprika, 3 tablespoons of cream cheese, and then 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, and then you will also need salt to taste. What we're going to do is, I'm not going to show me chopping everything up. We're going to go ahead and get everything ready, and then we're going to go ahead and start the cooking process. Okay, we've got everything chopped up. We've got our broccoli chopped up here. We've got our onions. We've measured out everything else that we need, and we're going to go ahead and get started on the rice, because it's one of the hardest things to do, because if you don't do it right, it comes out odd or not good, one of the two. Okay, we are using 2 cups of rice, so you're going to need to boil that in 4 cups of water. I've got my water here, yeah, right there. I've got my water here. I've already got it turned on. It's starting to heat up. I'm going to go ahead and add the rice here in 1 second. I've also started the water for the broccoli. You're going to cook the broccoli in boiling water for 2 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get that brought up to a boil before we add the broccoli in. But we're going to go ahead and start on the rice. Like I said, for 2 cups of rice, you're going to need 4 cups of water. I'm just going to go ahead and add that in there. And now you're going to stir this very lightly, just until it gets heated up. And what you're doing is you're bringing it up to a boil, and then you're going to take it off the heat, or turn the heat down to a simmer and cover it. Okay, now that our rice is to a boil, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the heat down. We're going to cover it, and we're going to let that simmer for about 15 minutes. What that's going to do, it's going to start evaporating a lot of that water that's in there, and also absorbing it into the rice, so you got a nice soft rice. Okay, our rice is just about done. It's got about another minute to be simmering on there. We're going to go ahead and start our broccoli. What we're going to do is we're just going to cook the broccoli in boiling water for 2 minutes, because you want it to still be fairly crisp when you put it in the actual casserole. That way, when you're cooking it in the casserole, it doesn't get too mushy. But we got our water boiling for that, so we're just going to go ahead and add this in there. And like I said, we're going to let that cook for 2 minutes, and then we will be getting our rice. Once our rice is done, we're going to pull it off of the heat, leave it covered for about 5 minutes, and then it should be done, and we can actually get started on the actual casserole. This recipe that we're making right now, I actually found online. It is not one that I've ever made before, or anybody's made for me before. But we're doing this completely from scratch. We're not adding in any like cream of mushroom soup or anything to make the sauce or anything. We're doing everything from scratch. So it looked really good when I watched the video on it, so we're gonna hope. Alright, our rice is done. So like I said, just go ahead and take that off of the heat. There's the beeper, which means I have 1 minute left for the 1 minute left for the broccoli. And as soon as this is done, we can start putting everything together, and I will be reading the recipe while we're making this, because like I said, I've never had to make this before. So you want to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees, which I need to do now. But you'll be baking it at 350 degrees. You'll be putting this into a 2-quart baking dish. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start working on the sauce. What you're going to do is cook your butter, and your onions on medium to low heat until the butter is softened and your onions are becoming translucent. Okay, once you got your butter and stuff melted down, what we're going to do is we're going to add in our flour, which we had 3 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to add in our 1/4 tablespoon of garlic powder and our 1/4 tablespoon of black pepper. And we're going to let this cook we're going to let this cook down for an additional 2 minutes. This is basically, the flour is what's going to give your sauce its thickness. And everything else just for flavor, obviously. Alright. After that's cooked down for a couple minutes, you're going to gradually add in your milk, whisking it up until it's thick and bubbly. And you're going to do that over medium heat. Okay, as this is starting to thicken up, it's going to start bubbling up on you, which you can see it's doing now. So what we are going to do is we are going to remove this from the heat. And now we are going to go ahead and add in our everything else. Our dry mustard, our half teaspoon of dry mustard, our half teaspoon of paprika, our 3 tablespoons of cream cheese, and we're going to add in 1.5 cups of the cheddar cheese. Just add that in there. The spoon, dang it. And then our, like I said, 1.5 cups of the cheese. The other half a cup of cheese that we were told to hold on to is going to be used a little bit later. Okay, and we are going to stir this stuff up until it's melted. Just use that cream cheese spoon. But yeah, we're just going to stir this up until everything's melted up into a nice sauce. That's coming to be a real nice sauce. Whisk. Pick that cream cheese up a little more. Okay, and that takes care of the actual sauce for this dish. Alright, now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your 2-quart pan, or your 2-quart baking pan. You're going to make sure you grease it beforehand. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to stir in the rice, or stir together the rice, the broccoli, and the sauce. Which I think what we're going to do is stir this all in together in another pan and then pour it in. That way. You're just going to make sure you get that sauce throughout everything. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and add this to our 2-quart pan. Get some stuff out of the way real quick. This should be fun. Pick a bigger pan to put this stuff in. I am running out of room quick. They did not leave you any room at all to go over on your measurements. because I went exactly what they said, and I am filled to the brim. So, you may want to try a bigger pan. That's good. And now we are going to top it off with the other half cup of cheese that we had. And again, we're going to put this in our oven for 35 minutes. Yeah, 35 minutes, or until the cheese is lightly brown. And that's at 350 degrees. As soon as this goes off, we'll get right back to you. Alright, this is just about done. We're going to go ahead and pull it out now. And it just started browning on top. Get this out. My timer should be going off just about now. That was close, 30 seconds. And there we have it. We're going to go ahead and get this plated up for you real quick. We're going to let this sit and cool for just a few minutes before we actually serve it up. Alright, let's get this served up. See how easy we can get this to come out. There you have it. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We enjoyed making it and eating it. It turned out really well. I will have the recipe down in the description below, along with links to my Twitter and my Facebook page. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video, and leave any comments you have down in the comment section below. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel, get more updates. And like I said, this will be my last of my cooking videos, just until I get done with the recovery on my surgery. After that, I'll be back at it again. I'm going to try to get some other kinds of content out to you, something I can do that's not going to be too stressful for my hand or anything. So, other than that, until then, we'll see you in the kitchen.